Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Enlightened World Network. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson. I'm here with Michele Landers, our Enlightened World Network numerologist. And Michele is going to give us the April forecast. Michele, how are you today?
I I'm not sure. Think I'm kind of flowing with the energy, which we'll talk about, of April. And here it is, April 1. And overall, I'm fine. But there is a lot going on, and I certainly feel it. Here we are, April 1st. And thank you again to you and Enlightened World Network to allow me to share my views and my perceptions on the numerological interpretations of the energy that is always surrounding us. So I guess let's begin.
Let's begin.
Let's start. So we know that the world, of course, is in this. I always feel like it's important to mention it. The world is in a 5 energy, which is a lot of ups and downs. And the United States, which is also in a different energy, is in the 7 energy, which is about going inside, about more thoughtfulness, more caring, more so many intuitive feelings coming to the surface. So let's talk first about the world and how that number 5 is interacting with April. So April by itself has a numerical value of 4. Now, 4 is normally standing alone is about security and foundations, but it's also like a box in a sense where you might feel a little bit restricted. And that is really in direct conflict with a lot of the other numbers. And all I can say to begin with, overall, it's a very intense, dramatic month. So let's kind of get into that a little bit more. Overall, as I said, it's a dramatic month in the sense that the number 9, because that is the energy for the world for April, is 9. Add the 5 of 2021, add it to 4, the month of April, and you get 9. So what is 9 about? Well, there's a lot of big energy associated with 9. Number 1, 9 is also about endings of some type. So it's very likely worldwide things are coming to an end, or things are coming to an end that will affect the entire world. Now, that doesn't have to be cataclysmic. I don't mean that. It could also be the discovery of something. There is so much, as an aside, there's so much energy this year on new discoveries, scientific, technological. It's really kind of mind-blowing. And not that we will know about all of these new discoveries. I think we're going to be fed it dribs and drabs over the year. But be sure that there is a lot going on in the fields of technology and science. So again, it's about endings. It doesn't have to be cataclysmic, and it can bring an end to something negative as well. That's how endings work. It can bring endings to something that's been going on for a while, but endings also bring new beginnings. It can be, in some sense, cataclysmic. It can bring upheavals, especially geographically. And why I say that is because April, also standing alone, is the number 4, and 4 has to do with Earth. So I did expect for the year that we are going to be experiencing some wild weather. But I think especially this month, there's going to be some weird or wild energy going on having to do with the Earth. Now, I don't know if that means any kind of possibly volcanoes erupting or earthquakes, but it's something's happening this month for sure. But again, the other side of the 9 is it's also a philanthropic number. And so the energy of people donating to things and people coming together and wanting to contribute to things like climate change and uplifting humanity, that's also a huge aspect of this month as well. So it's all of this high energy, intense energy going on. And Friday, April 9th. Now, this came from another numerologist. Unfortunately, I don't remember who it was, but it came across one of my emails. And it seems like, and it made sense when I read it, that April 9th is the 99th day of the year, which I didn't even know that. I didn't calculate it. So when you look at that, that should be an intense, it should be an intense day because it's April 9th. So it looks like this: 4 plus 9 plus 5 equals 1 plus 8 plus 9. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on April 9th, but I'm kind of interested. So that's just a little snippet of the world. Now, let's get into the United States. So for the United States, April is an 11/2 personal month because the United States is in a 7-year, and the 4 of April plus 7 equals 11. So most of the time in numerology, as you're probably aware at this point, Ruth, we reduce things to a single digit, except when it comes to the master numbers 11, 22, 33. And we don't reduce those numbers because we know that these double digits are read just a little bit differently. So we know also that the personal year energy of the United States is different from the personal year energy for the world. And that's simply because sometimes people get a little bit confused. They go, what are you talking about? Well, the United States has a known legal name and birth date. So that with that information, I'm able to calculate a lot of different aspects for the United States. So, and I interpret that energy. So April is the 4th month. And again, if you add 4 to the USA's personal number of 7, you arrive at 11. And master numbers hold a higher vibration than other numbers for positive. And although I don't like to use the word negative, I'll say challenges. So it's really an enhanced version of the number 2. So while 2 is about insight, teamwork, femininity, and patience, 11s are highly intuitive, highly sensitive, and it also represents illumination. So what does that mean for us? Well, it's going to bring insight. This month, the 11 is going to bring illumination to areas that were either previously in question or we weren't sure about, or it will bring to light new information. 11 can bring accord, and it also can bring discord. So what does that mean? That means unexpected situations are sure to arise more so than any other month. And since the year vibration for the USA is 7, and this month the vibration is an 11, this combination is really highly psychic and sensitive and intuitive. So it's sure to be a month again of a lot of illumination. People will be feeling that energy because along with the 11 too, we've got the overall vibration of 9. So everybody, I believe, is going to be affected by this energy by feeling more either alert, highly energized for good, or if you're not working with the 11, and I'll explain that in a second, you could feel a lot of anxiety, and we don't want that. We don't want you to feel anxious. So know that if you have this feeling of a higher or intense energy, it's great to meditate, to process all of that information, to open your heart, to send out love, to be sensitive to the relationships around you, because that's also a big, I don't want to say issue, but an aspect for the month is balancing things. And so it's going to be a month of constant balance. It's going to be a month of needing teamwork. It's going to be a month where the feminine energy and is going to be more apparent, and that's either in just aspects of femininity or actually physically something to do with women and partnerships. We may be hearing more about women and partnerships and businesses with women, but there's a focus on the feminine aspect. Overall, the month is going to call for a lot of diplomacy, and we're needing to bring harmony to all our relationships, period. But this month, especially, we need to focus on that. And again, the feminine energy is really going to flourish. Flourish. I'm sorry. Why did I say flourish? I don't know. Thinking of flowers. We also need a lot of patience this month. The energies, it's kind of like what I was getting is kind of like a push pull. So we're feeling more confident about venturing out. And yet, in other ways, we're feeling fearful. So there's a lot of this up and down energy going on. So when 11 is not, when we're not operating to the positive high energy of the number 11, it can bring phobias, and it can bring fear, and it can bring more radical groups or more attention to radical groups. And again, surprising events, unusual events are sure to occur. But again, all of this is happening inside of the world energy of the numbers 5 and 9. So overall, again, I feel like this is a very intense month, definitely weather related. So again, I'm thinking wild swings in weather. And in order to work with these energies in a positive way, we need to work really hard on our inner selves, which is good advice all the time, every day, but especially so for this month. We need a lot of patience. We need to pay attention to our relationships, our close relationships, intimate relationships, our friend relationships, our business relationships. And we have to make a special effort to tune into our intuition. Now, on Easter Sunday, that's April 4th, and that's an interesting combination too, because it really corresponds to, and so does Easter, to new beginnings. So it should be a really good feeling on Easter of like bringing in fresh energy into your life. So that's just the snippet of what's going on. Do you have questions?
What I'm writing down here, besides everything you're saying, I kept thinking this. So what can I do? So what can I do? And the words that came to me were ground, ground, ground.
That's perfect, because April is a number 4, and 4 is about grounding yourself for sure. So that it like walks in nature, and you know, the old adage or whatever it is, go hug a tree, get yourself grounded. in the earth, in Mother Earth, because Mother Earth also is needing a lot of attention. And this year we will experience her reacting to what has been the abuse of Mother Nature, which we talked about on last Saturday night. And it's really important. This is a big year for Mother Nature. And Mother Nature is uh, traditionally, we associate Mother Nature with women, and and being that nurturing. And certainly the earth has nurtured us for so long, and we haven't returned that kindness. So that's what we have to do now. So it is wonderful to get in touch with nature. And as you said, grounding. I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect. And just as a curiosity, I had pulled some tarot cards, and they were really interesting because out of, what is it, 72 cards, the three that I picked seemed really appropriate. And one was, which I can show here, we can see it, the Seven of Cups, which I'll explain. And then it's the Knight of Cups, and then the Seven of Pentacles. And all of those cards, I mean, if I had to summarize it, is in one hand, it's a lot of confusion emotionally. And again, it kind of resonates with what I said about the push pull, being excited, feeling this high energy, but still there's so much going on in the world that, France, I understand, is on lockdown again. So there's so much going on. People, I want to travel. I'm afraid to travel. Am I going to need a COVID, certification in order to get on an airplane? So this is making choices and really being confused about a lot of things. But the Knight of Cups comes, and this is the beautiful part of 11 too. The Knight of Cups comes with love and assurance that in the end, everything's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Offering love and kindness and gentleness. So those are the characteristics that we really have to focus on. And then the Seven of Pentacles, which is earth, and it's finances, but it's also earth. And there he is standing there looking at his stuff and going, okay, I put a lot of energy into this. It's been a wild ride. Now what? And that is a question that a lot of people are having. Like, everybody's been excited about leaving 2020 behind and embracing 2021. And I think that's great for us to do that. And in some ways, people are feeling like, but I'm still feeling uneasy. It's like the aftershock or the fallout of 2020. But that's okay, because I know that if we are steadfast and if we employ a lot of these these behaviors and these perceptions, that we're going to change things. This is the time we're really going to change things. And no matter what is happening around us or the things that we see with our eyes, know that the real power is behind our eyes, meaning with the divine. And if we focus more on that, absolutely 2021 is going to end as a really wonderful year and a lot of new beginnings. And I do believe that deeply. And for us in the spiritual community, we have to be really laser focused on that and not be distracted by a lot of these upheavals and get depressed or worried. We have to push back the fear. So does that make sense?
Well, it makes perfect sense, and it goes and it just dovetails beautifully with what was shared to me in meditation this morning. And the words that I got from that was, these are just stories. Know
Yes.
yourself as a light being, nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. Perfect. Because it all does start right here within us. And as Carolyn Mace used to always say, and I love this, and I repeat it often, is she said, don't pay attention to the world in front of your eyes. Pay more attention to the world behind your eyes, which is what I just said, the divine. Because we are what Marianne Williamson said, we are powerful beyond measure if we trust, if we believe, if we have faith, and we become spiritual warriors, but spiritually strong. This is the year to do that more than ever. We are being called to. I mean, last year we got a very strong knock on the door. Maybe it wasn't a knock on a door. Maybe it was just blowing the door down. But this year it's like, okay, come on out. It's like in the Wizard of Oz, come out wherever you are, and I'll meet the young lady that fell from the star. But what it's asking us to do is come out from wherever you are and embrace your true spiritual self. So every month offers another opportunity to do that in different ways. And this month we're being challenged on a lot of different fronts. So I think a lot's happening. Dramatic, intense, but also good things too. As I said, I love the fact that the 11 is illumination. So I'm going to tap into, and I would ask everybody else to tap into that master number 11, which raises your vibration, which inspires you, which is a calling for you to get in touch with your spiritual self, and then share that. Be forgiving, have more patience, turn the other cheek, as they say. Um, Send love. There's so many people right now, uh, gosh, that are facing challenges, health challenges and other challenges. And we need to gather together and send our love and our light and our energy to these beings, to these people, and to the world. So it's
Yeah.
it's like wild. It's like a wild ride.
So, what I'm hearing, Michelle, is that it may really benefit some people if they have their own mantra for the month.
Wow,
And
yes.
what I was hearing and what I just wrote was, I am love, I am light, I am here to learn and serve. And to me, that can be my personal mantra, that if I start feeling a little wonky, a little fearful, a little like the sky's falling, if I just repeat my mantra, and
Mm,
that's my mantra for the month, I can feel that that would really ground me and give me a
yes.
place to kind of sink into. And remember, this is just stories. So I encourage all of you at home, if you're feeling just a little iffy right about now, figure out what your mantra is for the month. Write it down, put it on the refrigerator, put it on the dashboard of the car, wherever you need to see it, to remind yourself of your higher truth right now. Because April to me is feeling like we need to be reminded of our higher truth and just stick with that.
Uh, that is spot on. I love that suggestion. I'm going to do that. I love that suggestion. That is beautiful. Yeah. And it's, as I said, we are definitely, the whole year, we are being called to a higher truth. And the more that we tap into that energy, the more often we tap into the divine, the easier things will get. That's the core, that's the key here. And so tapping into our higher truth and having patience and kindness and caring is going to allow everything to unfold beautifully. And I'm excited about that. Overall, I am excited again about the year's energy. It's just this month, I'm really curious about how it's going to all unfold because it is dramatic and it is intense. But I also see a lot of good things happening as well. And especially this, um, raising our vibration to be in alignment with the 11 is the way to heal ourselves and heal the world.
And remember, what you focus on is what you are going to be seeing. So
Mhm.
focus on the love, focus on people doing kind acts for each other, focus on the fabulous weather outside, focus
Yeah.
on this time of renewal and growth and spring. And I know our friends um, in Australia are focusing on fall, right?
Yes.
Fo-
Right.
Focus on what you want to see, and it's amazing how much more of that you will be seeing.
Yes. 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 And again, the reminder is always um, focus on exactly what you're saying about what you want to bring to life and the positive aspects of that, and not on the negative, or, don't allow yourself to get into that place of fear because you'll spiral down. And when you spiral down, that energy, our energy is always interacting with other people all the time. And sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's really, it's very strongly felt. But whatever it is, it's always interacting all the time. So the more that we focus on that higher energy of truth and love and caring, we can heal ourselves and heal one another and bring truth to light. That's another thing that I did mention about some things will come to light this month. And something else that I saw, now this was last year, but I've been reading more about it this year, is Elon Musk has developed some type of neuro chip. So, because I did talk about technology and how so many things we're going to find out that are going on. So when I saw this, it's a brain implant, and
Hmm.
with that implant, you can. Okay, this is just too wild, but it's out there. I can't. It's like I'm about to say it, and I'm thinking, are people going to say, "Are you nuts?" Okay, but this didn't come from me. This came from Elon Musk. His company developed a neurochip that gets implanted in the brain. They've already done it with a monkey and a pig, and it can control, or it has the potential for you to communicate with your computer without anything but your mind. That's wild.
Wow.
Have you heard about it?
I have not. I have not.
Mm,
But I guess that
well,
doesn't surprise me. I guess it doesn't surprise me, actually.
well, I'd like to know what Michael has to say about that. But
I'll ask
anyway,
later.
yeah, ask him later, or it later. So again, there's a lot of advances that we're going to be will be privy to as the year unfolds. And I think, even in the health sector, I think they're going to make a lot of inroads on different diseases, even maybe Alzheimer's or even cancer. There's a lot of inroads that they're making to, help us and give us better health, despite what just happened.
Right.
So it's kind of all over the place, the energy. But I think we focused in on the most important pieces, right? Which is raise up your vibration to meet the 11. And it should be a really illuminating, inspiring month.
So what I'm really seeing is a time of personal expansion. Literally, I'm seeing it as we ground into the earth and we also expand into our knowledge as a light being. We're doing this, folks.
So, yes.
I think that's what is really going to help people rather than going like this with whatever's happening in the world. If you do this and anchor yourself both into Gaia as well as with your spiritual divinity, you'll just stand strong.
So I love that.
That's what I'm seeing.
I love that. Yes. So it's, as always, it's all good. It's just we want to focus on the good and not focus on the challenges, but allow the challenges to help us to grow. And you can't grow if you don't face things as they are either. But you can face it as they are and say, okay, and I want to choose a different reality. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, put my positive energy into this. But I love that. Growing like this is perfect because we need to ground ourselves with Mother Earth, with Gaia, for sure, and be that channel, because we are having, whether it's an illusion, which a lot of us, I should say, in the metaphysical field will say, well, this is an illusion. But saying that doesn't mean that you ignore things. We're, again, spiritual beings having a human experience, and that human experience that we've chosen is a very dense physical experience on this planet. So we have to work with that, but we can also do this, which is perfect analogy. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And the other thing I want to do is just remind folks, if you need some support in staying the course, check in with Enlightened World Network. Go to YouTube. We have over 2,000 videos on YouTube at Enlightened World Network. We've got live shows going on several times a day on 3 different places. One is Enlightened World Network on Facebook. The other is EWN Enlightened Living. And the third one is EWN One with the Earth. So you can always find something to fill yourself with positivity and something to help you walk in a higher vibration and more connected to your spiritual divinity.
Right.
So you've got some resources right here. You don't have to go far, and it actually doesn't cost you a thing.
Which is so beautiful. What a blessing Enlightened World Network is, really. It's such a pure blessing. I'm very grateful for it. And I'm sure so many other people are too, Ruth, as well. And bless you for having this incredible idea to begin this. Thank you.
I'm a good listener. It's Archangel Michael, if anybody doesn't know where all of the inspiration comes from for this network. So, Michele, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I really mean that. 10 minutes ago, I wasn't so sure, but now it's all right. We've got our marching orders. We know how to survive this one.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We absolutely do.
And if anybody wants to get their, what I've been doing every month now is just offering up your month interpretation based on your personal year, which is easy for anyone to figure out, but I send out those interpretations based on your personal year. And if anybody wants that, they only have to email me at Michele Landers, Michele with one L, Michele Landers at bellsouth.net. So that's my gift.
Thank you for that. And Michele, if people want to know more about you, your website is?
MicheleLanders.com.
Perfect. Perfect. Michele, thank you so much for being here. And our friends here at Enlightened World Network, thank you. Thank you for being here. Stay aware for things coming up on Enlightened World Network. We're here with you, walking through this with you. So take good care and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.